the Task Force on Defending Constitutional Rights and Exposing Institutional Abuses. I am really excited to be here. Suspending funds that Congress appropriated in violation of the Impoundment Control Act and the Constitution. Firing independent inspectors general to cover up their waste, fraud, and abuse. An unconstitutional executive order on birthright citizenship, plainly violating the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. Defying a court order to return Kilmar Abrego Garcia to the United States. Stripping a former CISA cybersecurity director of their security clearance in a clear act of political retaliation. Altering federal employees' email to include partisan language, an act ruled illegal and unconstitutional. Giving DOJ access to individuals' social security numbers and bank account numbers. Illegally sharing federal agency data on outside servers. Attempting to exempt DOJ from FOIA. Illegally deploying the United States military inside the United States. Using the Department of Justice to target perceived political enemies, taking place today as we speak. Dismantling cyber and election security, violating the Emoluments Clause, and accepting billions of dollars in gifts from foreign leaders. These are just a few of the examples in which the Trump administration has violated the Constitution, abused institutions, disregarded the rule of law. I know that Chairman Gill has expressed his concerns about seeing Muslim families in malls in Dallas, but he and Mr. Jordan had no concerns with President Trump accepting a $400 million airplane from the Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. Muslim families in malls is a huge problem. $400 airplane from the Qatari Sheikh, not a problem. Let's not forget the $1.8 billion slush fund they tried to ram through to pay off insurrectionists who attempted to overturn the results of a free and fair election, to pay off their buddies. When President Trump was asked about the Constitution and whether he had a responsibility to uphold it, he said, "I don't know." Blatantly unconstitutional. That's a direct quote. That's not from me. That's Judge John Kogenauer, a Republican-appointed federal judge. Targeted deportation proceedings continue unconstitutionally to chill freedom of speech. Again, not me. Judge William Young, a Republican-appointed judge. The lust for unbridled power and the imposition of cruelty in its quest know no bounds and are bereft of human decency. That's District Judge Fred Berry. This task force should be doing everything in its power to prevent institutional abuses and protect the integrity of the United States Constitution. And there's a long list of things we could work on that are taking place right now as we speak. So if we're serious about our work here, we should direct it to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, because that's where the Constitution's being violated. That's where our institutions are being abused. Senator Antonio, Ohio saw a surge in ICE activity over the course of the last year as a result of the Trump administration's out-of-control mass deportation policies, often unconstitutional, by the way. Federal judges have said ICE violated the law, violated court orders more than 100 times. Can you just speak to the impact that these policies have had on your community?
There's a general state of fear in our local communities. Folks are afraid to attend everything from grocery stores to their children's schools, show up for court appearances where they're trying to follow the law, and everything in between, even show up for their faith communities. There is fear. There is a level of fear, and certainly they're unable to go to work.
Are the American citizens you represent confident that this administration will follow the Constitution, follow the law, and not abuse the institutions it controls? Are your constituents, who are American citizens, confident of those facts?
My constituents are watching and paying attention to what's going on both in our communities and across the country. There is a level of fear. There is not the faith that the federal policies, and the policies that are coming from the administration at the federal level are there to protect them. They fear that they're to persecute and prosecute them.
Thank you. I yield back.
This opening statement immediately sets the tone for what is really a larger debate about constitutional limits on presidential power. What Walkinshaw is arguing here is that the issue isn't simply about one policy disagreement or one controversial decision. His argument is that there is a pattern of behavior that, in his view, stretches executive authority beyond what the Constitution allows. For viewers who may not follow congressional hearings closely, it's important to understand why these accusations matter. The Constitution was designed around a system of checks and balances. Congress writes the laws and controls spending, while the president is tasked with carrying them out. When lawmakers accuse an administration of withholding money that Congress has already approved, they're essentially arguing that the executive branch is ignoring one of Congress's most important constitutional powers: the power of the purse.